were challenged
to
do something with a layer cake.
Yeah.
And so it's all about the pre-cuts this week. And so we chose a couple of layer cakes.
Yep.
And the one we're going to be working with today is called Love Blooms.
Love Blooms. So we're just going to take one of these. And what we do first is we just make a cut. Okay. And so we're going to take this, and I just would square it up on my board here, and then I would take and make one cut. And then you're going to end up with these two pieces. Okay. So we've got them there.
Okay.
And then we're going to just cut all of my fabrics. If you're doing a layer cake, you've got 42 of them. So I would cut all of them exactly the same. And then I just would take my pieces and I just would go one down. And so everyone was sewed to a different one. So I would just take the top one off, put it on the bottom, and just sew.
Right.
Okay. So we've got that. And then we sew them together and we end up with something like this.
Perfect.
Okay, so we've got this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cut it one more time, exactly the same way that we did before, but we're going to turn it.
Okay.
So let's cut it, go like this, and we're actually going to go this way. Okay, and we're going to do that exact same cut, and right to there, and cut.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we have pieces that look like this, and I'm just going to bring some more in just to show you how that works. And I am just going to flip this over and kind of match up my middles. If your middles don't match, they should, but if they don't match, there were some that it didn't, and I just would stitch it and make it work. It was fine.
All right.
Because you have four pieces.
This is kind of one of those quilts that it all goes.
It all goes.
So
yep,
this is a great beginner quilt, I think, because you really do stitch. All right. I am going to we're using the Altair 2 here, and I'm going to actually, because I want a 1/4 inch square, I'm going to change it to my Q2 and my number 2 so I can use the edge of my presser foot on this right here, because I want to do a perfect 1/4 inch square first before I do any decorative stitches.
Yep. So we have these all done. We're just going to take one, and we are going to cut our batting.
Okay.
So we use Kimberbell's Project Batting. We cut them all, and if you are doing a full quilt, you need 2 of the 19-inch by 3 yards.
Oh, okay.
And then it works out perfectly. I think you end up with like 2 extra squares or something like that. So we're going to lay this on here, and now we're going to do a decorative stitch, and we're going to go across both of these lines here, and it's going to stitch it down to your batting.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, you're not putting a backing on it. You're just putting the project batting.
We're just putting the batting on this. No backing yet.
Okay.
Okay. There's lots of ways to do quilt-as-you-go.
Right.
So this is just one of them, and we are going to do this. And let's look at the decorative stitches. We talked about them a little bit.
I love that we're using decorative stitches because I very rarely use them on my machine because I'm like, well, I don't know when I would.
Yeah. What do I do with those?
Yep.
So, so on the Altair, we can go into the character decorative stitches. And there are so many decorative stitches here. So if we look at that, like, you know, these just go down for pages and pages. There's some cute little hearts.
Right.
There's little bees. There's all kinds of little
Tulips,
stuff like
shamrocks. I mean, you know, if you were doing this quilt as just a fun little holiday quilt. I mean, really, how cute is that? I mean, look at all those hearts and flowers on there.
But I will tell you, those are going to take you a little while to stitch out. So we're not going to do that for us. We're going to come back to the utility stitches, and there's great stitches here too. We're going to go, one of my favorite ones to use is just the serpentine stitch.
And that's just a little wiggly.
Just a little wiggly. So we're going to let you do that.
And most machines anymore have decorative stitches on there. So
they have some kind, this I kind of want to show, like, you don't have to do much to have that decorative stitch down, or you can do a lot. So
I'm going to turn on my guide beam, which is we're lucky enough to have on this machine, because that helps me keep this. One of the things about decorative stitches that I really is don't watch your stitch, watch your guide beam where it's going, because if you watch your stitch, you're going to be all over the place. So, all right, I'm going to slow my speed down just a little bit, and I'm going to just watch that guide beam and make sure I'm straight, and I'm just going to let the machine do the work for me. Keep that guide beam right down the seam as I go down here. And that is so helpful. So like I said, on this EL Tear 2, we are really lucky. If not, you know, there are a lot of different products out there that you can put on your machine. And as you come through here, you'll see that we have this diagonal seam tape. That's another great product to keep your decorative stitches going.
But isn't that a fun stitch? Because it just sews it so nice.
I can't wait for you to show everybody.
If you look at this and you're like, hey, I just love that stitch, all of them could be exactly the same and it's gonna be okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna trim it. And you have quite a bit of room you're working with here that we're gonna trim back down because you want, you know, all of your dog ears. If you're off a little bit, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all gonna work out because you have a little bit of room here. So we're just
that's why it's really great to match that seam, because you know you're gonna trim the edge off instead of try to start and stretch.
Yep. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna flip it and trim.
Look how pretty those are.
Yeah.
You know what? I just love the thought of all of these stacked so pretty in your sewing room before you put them together, because they just are so flat and perfect.
Yeah,